You can see where I'm pointing to with a stick on the edge of the light, the boundary of the light. That's not actually orange peel, it's actually sinkage. It's a really matte finish. I'm going to polish this mirror next, and it has a factory defect called sinkage. So I've drawn this line fuzzy, sort of textured. So in other words, this colour, when it's wet, is shiny. As it dries, it goes matte or satin, and it has texture to it. When you then put the clear coat on, the clear coat is sort of almost buoyant and wet for a long time. It's got an elasticity, and it sort of stretches across the surface. As we get outgassing, it all starts to evaporate. The top of the clear coat mimics the wave, this waffle effect. Because it settles in, it shrinks. So it happens, and it's almost impossible to stop. And some cars are more guilty of it than others. And normally it's your high performance, or let's say high quality, high value cars that have got more material. So the more material you have, the worse it gets because there's more to shrink. This wave, there's a texture to it, which we can see in this panel, we can see in the Bentley panel. It's got this horrible texture to it. So there's two ways of fixing this. We can polish this, or we can sand it. My preferred pad for removing this type of defect, the sinkage, the microfiber pad. This will be my choice when it comes to this type of defect. I'm going to go with a medium to heavy cut compound. So I'm going to put a few blobs all over the pad. So now I've primed the pad up, I'm going to correct this half, see what results we get. Very easy to see. I can even get a round spotlight. Let's try that now. Put the round light in there. So obviously it's corrected the swells as well at the same time. Now what we've got left over is a bit of micro marring for refining, but as you can see, it's fixed the swells, which are from bad wash technique, and they've been corrected. We just got the light haze in now, but also it's this horrible flat sunk area, matte, almost lack of gloss there. Looks like orange peel. It's not to be confused with orange peel. It's a finer defect than orange peel. If we polish it, what we do, we're taking the clear coat down 2 microns with a foam pad or a microfiber pad, and it follows the wave. So when it follows the wave, it doesn't affect the orange peel. The orange peel's still there, but what you get is a clearer looking clear coat. It hasn't got this sort of fuzziness, almost like a frosted glass, so you can't see through. So that means the colour underneath becomes more vibrant, so it looks smoother, but it hasn't fixed the orange peel. The only thing that can fix both is sandpaper. What that's going to do is slice the tops. 1,500, 1,500 paper. Everyone's got their own preference, how hard they push, but I like to do this slow and steady. And to show you how slow and steady I am, you can see it's still shiny, but you can actually see the high spots, the peaks of the orange peel. There's a pattern, and it's actually the pattern of the wave. At the moment, I've just hit the tops. I've not hit the troughs, only the peaks. So once you've got to that stage, stop. I'm now sanding with 2000 grit in exactly the same way that I was sanding with 1500 grit. The only thing I would say is you should always sand for longer in the finer grades because they've got less cut. So what we've got here is 2 distinct areas. So I'm going to quickly explain. This area here has had 1500 grit sanding and then the 2000 grit, both by a block by hand, so no machine sanding. So this one's had the 2 processes, or 2 stages. This one here has had just the 1500 grit. Now, the reason why I've stopped and I've put these pieces of used paper that I've actually done this job with is just to help you see and educate that there's a very subtle difference between the 2 grades. The angle I'm looking down is almost, even with all lighting, impossible to see the difference. So you have to come down at a shallow angle with the correct lighting. You'll be able to see that the 2000 grit has made a vast improvement to the glossiness. It's refined basically sanding marks. So the reflectiveness is better. You can actually see if you fix your defects. So when we sand, we're fixing 2 defects now in one. Because as we slice the tops down, and we end up with this flat finish, which is that there, you've actually obviously sliced away the sinkage and the orange peel.